without getting sick.
Board for once.
All right, we're on.
Welcome to Senate Chat, the Utah Senate's opportunity for public to send us questions and get answers to those questions. It's also time to get questions from our media. So this is the second to the last week of the session, but who's counting? We welcome your watching today. Please send us questions. Any questions from our media? We have our appropriations chair here. He can take all the budget questions that you ask.
Just quickly, any thoughts on Fillmore's bill that you guys passed out on third reading today about self-sufficiency classes for welfare? What are your thoughts on doing it? Because it doesn't seem, it does something, but it doesn't do a whole lot. It just kind of seems to be another bill that sends a message.
I think that they're actually already doing a lot of that, and if this helps us to even do better in that area of trying to help folks get back on be self-reliant to self-sufficiency, then I think we've accomplished a good thing.
Or do they want to see you on the camera?
Pardon?
Or if they want to see you on the camera.
Any other questions from our media?
Really good. Is Apple so you guys, senator, you guys canceled appropriations this afternoon. Just still trying to put some numbers together, or what's the finding more money?
All of the above. We'll start meeting and see where we are, so what we agree to. And sometimes you get piecemeals, and you do piecemeals of it. That's why we have EAC scheduled, I think, every night this week. And so if we can't get it, we'll let you know on the 24-hour notice.
And have you started figuring out how much you're going to fiscal note bills and that sort of thing, or is that still in the working discussion?
That's still all negotiations.
Any idea how much you're going to be pulling out of higher ed for to pay for sales tax or for general fund programs?
No.
Pulling money out of higher ed?
He's talking about the transfer of general fund money.
Oh, from the education fund.
Yeah, one of the challenges is that the income tax is growing at 8%, sales tax is growing under 5%.
Yeah.
And so we got to fix that growth curve.
It presents a challenge, that's for sure.
No more than we have to, I can tell you that.
Is there any questions from our viewers?
We do have one that came in by Twitter. It asks, word for word, what's with the ridiculous effort to rescind the 17th Amendment to the Constitution?
So that's Senator Jackson's effort. The 17th Amendment to the Constitution changed how senators are elected. I guess before the 17th Amendment, the early part of the century.
Last century.
Last century, yes, last century. Okay, I was born in the mid of that century, so there was an amendment put in to make senators popular vote. But before that time, state legislatures elected the state senators, where the states had a little more say in what goes on in Washington. The original intent of the founders was that there'd be a body that would represent the states, and there'd be a body that would represent the population. That hasn't changed for the House, and so I believe there are some good arguments because of the heavy hand of the federal government over the last several years. Just the last 10 years that I've been in the legislature, they've been taking jurisdiction away from the states. And part of that problem is we really don't have a body, the Senate, which used to represent the states, now is elected by a popular vote. So that's the arguments on it. You may agree or disagree, but there are a lot of people out there that agree that we ought to have repeal that. It's not something the state can do. It requires 38 states to agree with that, and so there would have to be a proposed constitutional amendment. It would have to go through that process, so it would have a long ways to go. Thank you for sending in that question. Any others would like to respond to that?
And the question really is, would we replace Orrin Hatch and Mike Lee with somebody else?
Well, we might. Or we might not.
That's the question. I just throw it out there.
I wouldn't say we might. I'd say give us the opportunity to put somebody in that represent the state.
One thing for sure is they'd be more responsive to us.
Maybe.
It'd be more of a state perspective rather than so one body would represent the states, one body would represent the population. Any other questions from our media?
Has there been any discussion in caucus at all about Urquhart's hate crime bills, and you expect it to come up this afternoon? I know you can't answer that really, but do you think he'll encircle it this afternoon?
Caucus question?
Yeah, there has not been any discussion at all in caucus about the hate crimes bill, and I don't expect it to come up. I haven't heard any requests or.
I haven't heard from Senator Urquhart as what his plan is.
Where do you guys?
There was a lot of ion twos. Maybe I'm just guessing that perhaps those aren't ion 3 on the third reading calendar, and so he's trying to get the votes before he encircles.
I talked to him on the way in, and he said he's not going to encircle it today.
Okay.
It's a bill in progress.
Any other questions? Okay. Any other questions? Thanks for watching us, and please come back tomorrow around noon, and we'll address any other questions you have. Thank you.
Hope I can answer your questions.
I actually just thought of one. You guys have bills introduced in the past?
No.
Golden Rule.
Where's Kevin?
Updated.
We used to get one on Friday, and so I bet we get that today. We'd be happy to address that question tomorrow.
He sent it to us Saturday.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, I can.
I haven't got it.
Forward to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, be interested to know how it works.
All right.
Senator Valentine when you need it.